our expectation, the promise, the deed restriction, all the things that we were told and bought into the package of coming to Fort Sheridan was for an 18-hole golf course. The county has employed or hired two known golf course architects to develop an 18-hole layout. Robert Trent Jones and Silva, yeah, Brian Silva. And the $781,000 in the list of expenses to date, a big chunk of that is golf course design. Back when the commitment was first made with the Army and the cities were a part of that this was to be the grand plan. In fact, when we had our phone conversation, the big idea, well, this was the big idea. Okay, this was to benefit Highwood significantly, and secondly to Highland Park, and certainly potential for Lake Forest as well, having such a class 18-hole golf course on the lake. That first meeting, I said, our position is we want the 18-hole golf course. But we had agreed to participate. And I actually had one homeowner says, let's go have coffee at Starbucks. His message was, don't show up at that meeting. They're just going to make another fool out of us. Another delay tactic, another way to turn us down. And I told him, I said, if we're not there, we don't have a voice at the table. So we came. And we came with the willingness to compromise, and the selection of 2B was a compromise. This is the best plan long-term for the county in the future of Lake County? I don't think so. Okay, I'll just give you my opinion. It's second best. It's not the best. It's second best. But be that as it may, is this the only way that we can satisfy the deed restriction, the contracts, the promises, a base closing? Along the line, there hasn't been fiscal responsibility, in my opinion. When it was first proved by the board back in, I don't know when they took the vote, whether it was 94 or 95, when in that process the Forest Preserve committed to this golf course, should have been day one of setting aside the plans and the money to make good on their commitment. And I've heard lots of excuses about why we can't do it. It's not the, and now we got the economy. And I understand the economy, okay? But I got to tell you, another promise of it, 5 years more. You know, we've been through that drill. We went through that drill when the lawsuit got filed against the developer for the 235,000 cubic yards. I stood up at that green, what's it called? Greenhouse. Yeah, at the meeting, and I asked the board, I asked the commissioners, once you get this suit settled, are you going to go ahead and build the golf course? And you know, I got nods from people that voted this way. Okay? I left that meeting telling our people, be patient, they need to settle this. Yes, they could go ahead anyway. Richie Stein, the developer, told me they could go ahead anyway and do this. That doesn't need to stand in the way. The lawsuit could have gotten settled in parallel with moving ahead. But nonetheless, and then the closing of the golf course we had. There was no consultation with us. One morning or afternoon, the greens are gone. And we said, what happened? I called Meserly, the former director. He says, oh, we're going to build a new golf course. We decided to shut this one down and start to get ready to build it. Well, I don't think that was fiscally responsible, okay? So I hear fiscal responsibility now, and I've certainly heard Ann say those words all the way back to when you first ran for the board. We need to do this in a fiscally responsible way. But I haven't seen that along the way. It's like we just go about one problem after another and we don't plan ahead based on our commitments. So, to sum it up, I think our community has lost a great deal of faith in the forest preserve. Lots of things you do wonderful. So what we have there with the beach and the installations that have been made are wonderful. There's not criticism over that. But the big issue with the golf course, you've lost a lot of mileage with us. And I don't think I can get anybody excited about the promise of, well, let's wait until after the recession. Let's wait until jobs or whatever. I think you've dug a hole for yourselves in meeting this obligation. And I don't know what's going to take, but it's policy that stands in your way. You refuse to use monies, and you got that $185 million referendum passed in November 2008. That's the same month that Congress voted on the $735 billion TARP to save the financial system. And it got approved by the voters 2-1. And there was only $140 million of the $185 designated to purchase land. And that's why I say we're making available in this plan 40 acres for general public use. Pay for it. That'll help get the golf course going. So that's where we are. We support 2B. If that's all we can get. And but I agree. 18 holes is a better long-run solution. And let me say it, and I know I'm going to step on a lot of toes, but maybe some of those 7 golf courses need to be closed or do something different with them.
Did they copyright?
So you support 2B?
Yeah, our golf course got closed in the middle of the night.
So to make sure you want action now, you don't want to wait, you will support 2B, you prefer 18, and is that option 3, or is that, or your option 4, right?
It's okay.